Opening hook. What happens when determined Karens meet the unshakable royal guards? Well, you're about to find out. Get ready, because what you're about to hear are some unbelievable moments where pushy behavior clashes with royal traditions. When people think they can push their way through anything, especially when it comes to these famous royal guards, things don't always go as planned. These guards are known for standing their ground, and today you'll hear all about what happens when Karens think they can change that. You'll witness stories that show what happens when boldness meets the unmovable, and how these Karens quickly learn that some rules are simply unbreakable. Second Karen versus guard. The face-off. The scene is set at one of the most famous royal palaces, where the iconic ceremonial guards stand tall and focused. These guards are known for their unwavering discipline, never reacting to the crowd, no matter what happens around them. But today, one Karen has made it her mission to break that silence. Determined to get a reaction, Karen steps in front of the guard, blocking his path. She waves her hands, makes comments, and even tries to make eye contact. Her boldness grows as she becomes convinced that she can outsmart the guard. But little does she know, these guards are trained to stay calm under any pressure. The guard doesn't flinch, doesn't speak, and continues to stand there like a statue, showing no emotion. Karen's frustration begins to build. She raises her voice, thinking that a louder approach will get her what she wants. But the guard remains completely silent, and that only makes things worse for her. As the guard continues to stand tall and unresponsive, Karen realizes that she may have picked the wrong battle. 3. Karen grabs the reins. Reality check incoming. After failing to get the guard's attention, Karen decides to take things up a notch. In an act of boldness, she reaches out and grabs the reins of the royal guard's horse, thinking it's her chance to finally make an impression. But what she doesn't realize is that she's crossed a serious line. As soon as her hand touches the reins, the horse reacts instantly. It's a powerful animal, trained for discipline, and doesn't appreciate being handled by anyone except its rider. The sudden movement startles Karen, causing her to stumble back in shock. She wasn't expecting this at all. The calm scene quickly turns into a spectacle as onlookers gasp, watching in disbelief as Karen gets a reality check she won't forget. This isn't some cute photo opportunity for social media. This is real life, and horses are far from Instagram props. Karen's boldness quickly turns to embarrassment as she struggles to regain her composure, realizing the serious mistake she made. The crowd around her can't help but watch. Some are in shock, others in quiet amusement, but one thing is clear. Karen has learned the hard way that the royal guards and their horses are not to be messed with. 4. The Karen and Kevin duo, double trouble. What's worse than one entitled Karen? A Karen and Kevin duo, of course. When these two show up together, it's almost guaranteed that things will go wrong. Armed with their smartphones and a lot of confidence, they approach the royal guard, ready to document their antics as if they're the stars of their own reality show. Kevin, always eager to one-up Karen, starts pushing the boundaries right away. He steps closer to the guard, making comments and trying to provoke a response. He even begins to argue as if the guard should somehow justify his silence. But Kevin's boldness is met with the same calm, unwavering presence the guards are known for. The tension in the air is thick. Kevin keeps pushing, thinking he can break the guard's discipline. But then, something happens that even he wasn't expecting. The royal guard silently steps to the side, moving away from them. No words, no reaction. Just a simple movement to distance himself from the chaos. And that's when Kevin realizes he's gone too far. When a royal guard, known for their stillness and endurance, actually moves away to avoid you, it's a clear sign that you've crossed a line. The once confident duo suddenly looks less sure of themselves as they realize the seriousness of the situation. 5. Karen crosses the line, touching the guard's weapon. As if provoking the royal guard wasn't enough, one Karen decides to take things even further. She steps too close, invading the guard's personal space, and then, in a moment of pure recklessness, she reaches out to touch his sword. It's the ultimate sign of disrespect, and everyone watching knows it. This Karen has clearly missed the memo. Royal guards are not there for entertainment, they're not tourist attractions, and their weapons are definitely not for touching. But in her mind, she's just looking for another opportunity to draw attention to herself, unaware aware of the seriousness of her actions. Without a word, the guard sends a firm, unspoken reminder that this kind of behavior has consequences. His stance remains strong and unyielding, making it clear that she's crossed a line that shouldn't be crossed. The tension in the air is palpable as Karen realizes that she's not dealing with just any situation. This is an age-old tradition of honor and discipline, and she's completely out of her depth. In that moment, it becomes clear that some boundaries simply aren't meant to be pushed, and Karen is left standing there, embarrassed and unsure of what to do next. 6. Family meltdown, ignoring all warnings. In this chaotic moment, it's not just one Karen causing trouble, it's an entire family. The Karen family has arrived, and they're ready to stir things up. Despite the clear warning signs and the guard's presence, they march ahead, completely ignoring the rules that are meant to keep everything in order. This family doesn't seem to care about the boundaries that are so obvious to everyone else. They laugh and chat, acting as if the rules don't apply to them. But as we all know, when you ignore the rules, reality has a way of catching up, and in this case, it does. Fast. As the family continues to push past the limits, the situation escalates. Their behavior attracts attention, not just from the crowd, but from security. Soon, the tension rises even more as the police are called in to handle the situation. The once lighthearted day at the palace has turned into a scene full of stress and conflict. It's no surprise how this one ended. What started as a carefree disregard for the rules has now spiraled into a full-blown incident, with the family facing the consequences of their actions. 7. Kevin's final blunder. The sword incident. Kevin, always eager to stand out, decides that touching the guard's sword is his moment to shine. In a misguided attempt to impress those around him, he reaches for the sword as if it's some kind of toy. But what Kevin fails to understand is that this is no ordinary sword. It's part of a centuries-old tradition, carried by highly trained guards who take their duty seriously. Bold move, Kevin, but that sword is no prop. The crowd watches in disbelief as Kevin tries to handle the weapon, expecting it to go unnoticed, or worse, thinking it'll make him the star of the day. But the reaction is far from what he imagined. Instead of admiration, Kevin is met with gasps and murmurs from the onlookers. His moment of glory quickly turns into one of embarrassment, and he can feel the weight of their disapproval. Realizing his mistake, Kevin awkwardly steps back, no longer as confident as before. What started as a daring stunt to impress has now left him regretting the whole thing. Sometimes it only takes one bad decision to turn a bold move into a blunder you won't forget. The ultimate reality check. One thing is clear, you don't mess with the royal guards. Whether grabbing reins or crossing lines, these Karens and Kevins quickly learned that some boundaries shouldn't be pushed. Their attempts to provoke only led to embarrassing lessons. In the end, their antics were met with reality, reminding everyone that the royal guard's discipline is not to be underestimated. Love seeing Karens get reality checks? Subscribe now for more unbelievable moments.